What's going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds, and today joining me is Mr. Champion himself, Raufeon Stots, ahead of your next fight against Patchy to become the winner of the tournament. How are you feeling for that fight, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Confident and fearless.
Yeah, and as well, the last time I spoke to you, obviously, you had the Sabatello fight, and you mentioned there it was one of those fights you was looking to get the win. It was personal for you, and to get that win, move on into the tournament, into this final, what did that win feel like for you?
Yeah, it was just bragging rights. So that feels good. And yeah, it's huge, you know, that step to be able to fight for $1 million and fight Patchy Mix, you know. So that's cool, you know. Yeah, so it feels amazing, you know. I got a win over somebody I didn't like, and I got to punch somebody in the face and beat up somebody I didn't like. So that was cool. Pretty much the whole thing is all good for me.
Yeah, this time round, obviously, you mentioned you wanted to face Patchy Mix in this final. You've got him as an opponent. Obviously, it's for the title, for $1 million, as you mentioned as well. To have this fight and for all the marbles as well, what does this fight sort of mean to you as well?
To me, I feel like we were two of the best in the world, you know, and I get to show up and prove that I'm the better. You know, I'm the better one, you know. Patchy Mick has been saying that he's coming in there to finish me. He's coming to do a lot of things. But the funny thing about this game is we get to find out, you know, come fight night. And that's what I love. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy trying to break other people's will. And Patchy's going to be no different. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to impose my will, and I'm going to fuck him up. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, and as well, going into this fight, in terms of the people that he's faced before and now facing you, what do you feel as though is something that separates you from what he's fought before? And what do you feel that you're bringing to this fight that's going to be a problem for him?
I just feel like, you know, a lot of people he faced before, let him have a grappling match, you know. I'm very good at grappling, but I'm even better at fighting, you know. So basically, I possess the skills, you know what I mean, in the wrestling department to put the fight wherever I want it. And if I want to go to the ground, I'll go to the ground. If I don't want to go to the ground, I won't go to the ground. And yeah, so I feel like everybody else, you know, kind of let him impose his will on him, and let him get comfortable where he's comfortable. I have the tools to not. I have the tools to, you know, just dictate where the fight, you know, ends up and control the fight the entire time. So that's why I feel like I'm different. Obviously, I'm different than everybody else. You know, I have wins over, you know, a lot better people than the people he's faced. So yeah.
Yeah, and as well, obviously, with this fight, obviously, it means you become the best in the division in Bellator. But as well, do you feel as though a win here also shows that you are one of the best fighters that we can find in the world at the moment? Obviously, your last performance was brilliant, and those before that, they've all been great. And this one, if you repeat the same, do you feel as though this puts you up there for one of the best martial artists on the planet?
Yeah, I mean, I believe I'm the best in the world. You know, I've been saying that for a while, man. And you know, just because of my training habits, my mental habits, my you know, who I train with, and my coaches, all the way throughout, you know, I truly believe I'm the best in the world, you know, and I haven't been proved otherwise yet, you know, and that won't change on next Saturday. So yeah, man, I believe I'm the best in the world. That's regardless promotion, that's regardless, you know, spots in the world. I feel like I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, and then sort of moving into this fight, obviously, being a main event once again, and to really sort of after the Sabatel fight, you said yourself that you saw your name rising, and it definitely has. In terms of moving into another main event, what does it mean to you to be able to main event these cards and really show what you are able to do?
That's super cool, man. You know, coming from where I come from, being headlining, you know, in front of millions of people, that's just amazing, you know. It's just like an icing on top, you know. Of course I'm going in there to take care of a task, but that's just like it's just a cool thing, like a kind of even like the trophies I got, you know. It's just like, hey man, It's something I can tell my kids when I get old. Like, hey, your pops was on the main event. You know what I'm saying? On Showtime, on television, TV. You know, in front of thousands of people. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, not only that, but also you're able to inspire many people with sort of the rise that you've had in the sport and where you are, and to not only be able to show how good of a fighter you are, but inspire others on their own journey, whether it's at the start or in the middle or wherever it may be. What does that sort of mean to know you're also inspiring people at the same time as doing what you love?
I was asked this by another reporter, and I think that's, this is my answer. I ultimately, when I leave this earth, I want my legacy to be that I left it better than I found it, and all the people around me, I want to leave them better than, before they met me. I want everybody to be enriched by, enriched from knowing me. I want them to either be, smarter, better off, something. I want to leave a positive, lasting effect. So if I can inspire, especially like kids like me that I feel like we're in the same position as me, if I inspire, Nigerian people, I can inspire anybody, that's super huge to me. And that's super cool, because I mean, this fighting stuff is cool, but I feel like, whatever everybody wants to chase, that's or whatever, everybody's important things in their life is, I feel like it's a powerful thing to be able to or have the confidence to go and get that thing. So that's another thing that's like amazing, and that's kind of the legacy I want to live or leave.
Yeah, and to have the experiences that you've had in the sport and pass down knowledge that you've been able to pick up as well. When you do see some of these rising fighters in the scene that may come to you for advice, do you almost see a little bit of yourself in them when they're at the start of the journey? And what is that sort of like when you do see these guys start really coming through?
Man, that's maybe the most rewarding, feeling. If I can like catch somebody, that's asking for advice or I'm training with, that I've been in that exact same position and I know, what it feels like, the negatives and positives of that. And I can pretty much set them down the path, of least resistance. That's like the most rewarding for me, I don't necessarily want to be like a coach after MMA, but I want to be like for my teammates, I want to be at least a positive voice for them, for direction, like mentor them. I love that, I love, making it easier, making the path easier, so they don't make as many mistakes. Like, because I feel like that was what was done for me. I feel like I'm a product of my environment. And the reason I'm so good is because I had a lot of good people in my corner, leading me down the right path. So, yeah, I love doing that for the guys coming up. And that's like the most amazing, rewarding feeling.
Yeah, and as well for fighters when they are coming through, you mentioned they're having that good circle around them and good people to train with, coaching or whatever it may be. But how important do you sort of feel it is to have that good circle around you as well as having the skills as well in the sport?
Yeah, that's... I don't want to say it's because a lot of it is on you, but that is super important. I would say like 50% of it is the people around you, Yeah, man, I would say a lot of it is the people around you, the company you keep, because the mind is a powerful thing, and negativity is kind of like a weed in the mind. And if you have a lot of positive people around you doing positive things, it's just like inevitable for you to, adopt them habits, So like the mindset of the people around you, the skill set of the people around you, all that stuff matters, all that stuff rubs off on you. So yeah, that it's super important, and I'm super blessed. I got like an amazing team of athletes and coaches and minds around me.
Yeah, and also just moving back into the fight as well. In terms of, obviously we mentioned a little bit in terms of what can come of it, the $1 million and things like that. But is there anything that you want to do with the $1 million? Obviously, I'm sure some of the answers will be holidays and stuff like that. But is there a lot of good that you also want to do with that? And what do you feel as though it'll be able to empower you to do almost?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be able to empower me to change my family. You know, my not my immediate or my immediate family for sure, and then my extended family. One thing I want to do is I want to improve. There's a plot of land in my family, and it's got like a kind of a rundown shack on it, pretty much a glorified storage unit on the house or on the land, and I want to improve the property and put a better house for family dinners and Christmas and things of that nature. Other than that, I just want to kind of dedicate a portion of it to helping the people around me, the people that I feel like don't get a fair shade and or shake in life. I want to kind of help people get a head start or at least the knowledge, to better themselves. So that's one thing I really want to do with it.
Yeah, and then this one. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I was just saying that's a couple things actually, but yeah.
No problem. And as well, sort of looking ahead of what you've been able to succeed and what you've been able to do within the sport, obviously, can it sometimes be hard almost not to reflect too much on the past when there's still so much for you to accomplish in your future at the same time as well?
Yeah, especially now it's getting hard to be like, or I have to actively like switch my mind to being like, hey, now is what matters, not, the past or the future. Like now, for example, like I need to focus on the fight with Patchy Mix. I have to focus on being there or being in these moments. I have to focus on being in these moments in practice. Like I have to focus on running my best right now, not thinking about rounds before or doing worrying about the round or exchange I'm in now, not thinking about, how many rounds I got this fight or stuff like that. So yeah, being present is super important. And it's harder to do now that I feel like I've come so far and I've accomplished a lot. So it's like, it's easy for me to look back and be like, damn, look how far that is, and it's also at the point now where I'm like, man, $1 million is right here. Like a lot of the stuff I can do with my family is like right here. Like it's super easy for me to also like look ahead and think about all the great matchups I could have, going forward. But, I have to focus. I have to be because, and this is from a life experience I had. The one loss I had, I feel like I wasn't present in that moment. And it kind of messed up kind of everything for me. So I learned from that, and I'm trying to stay really disciplined on being present, because like the past has already happened. And if I'm looking to the future and not focused on the present, the future changes. So yeah, I got to focus on the present.
Yeah, and then just a final thing for myself is obviously you mentioned in terms of leaving a legacy behind and what you want it to be, but do you feel as though this fight in particular is going to be the one that can really start to shape that legacy and turn it into what you want? Or do you still see there's so much more for you to do that this fight may not shape the legacy as much as what could come in the future as well?
No, I think every single one. I think this fight is going to add to the legacy. I feel like I've kind of been on the same path, my whole career. And I've been kind of doing the same thing my whole career. I'm just like adding notches and, I'm staying true to myself and getting better. And the results are showing. So I think this is just going to add to the legacy I'm already building. I don't think it's going to, change anything drastic just because, I don't need to change anything drastic. And if it does, and like people eyes, this is like a huge fight. This is the biggest fight I think I've had, maybe the toughest opponent I've had. And, things of that nature, just like a huge fight. But if I look at the longevity of the entirety of my career, I've been taking on the biggest challenges, since I started. The biggest challenges I could get, that's the ones I was going after, and that's the ones I, captured and accomplished. So I feel like it's just gonna be more of the same.
Yeah, well, that is everything from myself. If you'd like to take a chance at any sponsors, teammates, anything like that, obviously feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank sponsors, Cricket Wireless, Zero Shoes, Perfect Sports, Power Fit Meals, Recovery U, and also like to thank my training partners. I got amazing training partners. I got Eve Edwards in my corner, Eric Nixick, Cameron Smotherman, Cameron Graves, everybody at Thug U, Adrian Yanez. Yeah, thank everybody.
Well, thank you very much for your time today. Obviously, be there at B Square for the Bellator Hawaii weekend, but thank you today, as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.